The highlights of today's defense news, 19th of May. DAC approves rupees 40,000 crores for defense forces to procure arms and ammunition post Operation Sindoor. An RFI for installation and commissioning of containerized indoor shooting range issued by the Air Force. Adani partners with Sparton to develop anti-submarine warfare solutions. US firm Vast keen to partner with ISRO on Bharat Antariksh station. IMF's big warning and 11 new conditions for Pakistan's after Op Sindoor. The role of the private defense sector during Operation Sindoor. Automotive and Weapons System Testing Center inaugurated in Chennai. In the war zone, Russia launches one of biggest drone attacks on Ukraine since beginning of war. 273 drones and decoys reported. The Israeli Defense Force launches major new Gaza operation, seizing key areas. Estonian firm to build drone plant with daily capacity of 2,000. Vatn system unveils new AUV-Torpedo product line and opens state-of-the-art manufacturing facility. US approves AIM-120C8 AMRAAM and AIM-9X Sidewinder Block 2 missile sale to Turkey. A look at the news in detail. Defence Acquisition Council has approved 40,000 crore rupees under emergency powers for the Indian Defence Forces to procure arms and ammunition amid Operation Sindoor. The armed forces are focusing on acquiring surveillance drones, kamikaze drones, long-range loitering munitions, air defense system, and various types of missiles and rockets. The first four EPs were granted during the military confrontation with China in eastern Ladakh, while the fifth was for counter-terror operations. Under this EP6, the armed forces can fast-track multiple contracts, each worth 300 crore rupees, under both capital and revenue heads, instead of following the normal long-winded procurement procedure. The contracts have to be finalized within 40 days, with deliveries to be completed in 1 year. The powers will be exercised by the three service vice chiefs. All EP6 purchases have to take place with the concurrence of the financial advisors, while special permission is needed for imports. Indian Air Force is planning to procure 20 containerized indoor shooting range for various Indian Air Force bases. Vendors is envisaged to supply, install, integrate and commission all the equipment and subsystems. The CISR is intended for use by day and night for small arms firing training of service personnel during all seasons. The last date of acceptance of filled forms is 14th of July 2025. Adani Defence and Aerospace has entered into a landmark partnership with Sparton de Leon Springs, a US-based undersea warfare specialist and subsidiary of Israel's Elbit Systems, to develop and assemble advanced anti-submarine warfare solutions for the Navy. This collaboration, formalized through a binding agreement, focuses on the localization of sonobuoys and other ASW electronic sensors and navigation systems in India. With this agreement, Adani Defence becomes the first private company in India to offer indigenously assembled sonobuoy solutions to the Navy. The partnership will leverage Spartan's advanced ASW technologies and Adani's established expertise in defense manufacturing, aiming to create a robust, self-reliant ecosystem for mission-ready intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and ASW capabilities that are globally competitive and swiftly deployable. What are sonobuoys? Sonobuoys are critical electronic systems used for detecting, locating, and tracking submarines and other underwater threats, thereby enhancing undersea domain awareness and supporting the security of carrier strike groups and other naval assets. US space company Vast has formally proposed a partnership with ISRO for collaborating on India's upcoming Bharat Antariksh station, offering access to its own commercial space station Haven 1, which is scheduled for launch on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in May 26. Vast CEO Max Hayot recently held discussions with ISRO officials suggesting a mutually beneficial arrangement where Indian scientists and engineers could be hosted on Heaven 1 while VAST could potentially gain access to India's future space station facilities. Heaven 1 is designed as a single module commercial space station with a habitable volume of 45 cubic meters capable of supporting up to 4 crew members for missions averaging 2 weeks. The station will feature 4 crew quarters, science module lockers, and a communal area and is intended as a precursor to the larger Haven 2 station, which VAST hopes will serve as a successor to the International Space Station after its planned retirement in 2031. Haven 2 is expected to be operational by 2028 and fully completed by 2032, offering significantly greater capacity and aiming to serve both government and commercial users. The ISS, currently a collaborative project involving US, Russia, Canada, Japan, and the European Space Agency, is nearing its decommissioning, while China's Tiangong station has already established a permanent human presence in orbit since 2021. In this context, VAST sees a unique opportunity for US-India collaboration as the two countries are politically aligned and apart from Russia and China are the only nations with independent human spaceflight capabilities. The International Monetary Fund has imposed 11 new conditions on Pakistan for the release of the next tranche of its bailout program, bringing the total number of conditions to 50. This move comes amid heightened tensions between India and Pakistan following Operation Sindoor, with the IMF warning that continued or escalating hostilities could jeopardize Pakistan's fiscal, external, and reform objectives under the program. The key conditions imposed by IMF: parliamentary approval of budget. Pakistan must pass a 17.6 trillion federal budget in line with IMF targets by June 25. Agricultural income tax reform. All four provinces must implement new tax laws, including taxpayer identification, registration, and compliance improvement. Government Action Plan. The government must publish a governance reform strategy based on the IMF's governance diagnostic assessment. Financial sector strategy. A long-term plan must be prepared outlining institutional and regulatory objectives for the post-2027 financial sector. Electricity tariff adjustments. Annual electricity tariff rebasing must be issued by July 25 to maintain cost recovery levels. Gas tariff adjustments. Semi-annual gas tariff adjustments must be implemented with the first adjustment due by February 26. Captive Power Levy Ordinance. Parliament must make this ordinance permanent by May 25, shifting industrial energy use to the national grid. Debt servicing surcharge. The 3.21 rupee per unit cap on the debt service surcharge must be removed by June 25. The Special Technology Zones (STZs) phase out. Pakistan must prepare a plan by end 25 to eliminate all fiscal incentives for STZs and industrial parks by 2035. Used car import liberalization. Legislation must be submitted to Parliament by July 25 to lift restrictions on the commercial import of used cars, initially up to 5 years old, to increase affordability. Development spending allocation. Out of the 17.6 trillion rupees budget, rupees 1.07 trillion must be allocated for development spending. The private defense sector had a very pivotal role during Operation Sindoor. Let's see what are the key contributions of the private defense sector. The drone warfare and surveillance. Companies like IdeaForge, Alpha Design Technologies, and New Space Research provided high-tech UAVs for reconnaissance and precision strikes. IdeaForge's Switch UAV and Netra V2 were deployed for real-time intelligence gathering. Solar Industries' Nagastra 1 and Alpha Design's Sky Striker enabled kamikaze drone attacks. Indigenous weapon systems and ammunition. Adani Defence opened 2 new plants to manufacture ammunition and missiles, aiming to meet 25% of India's small caliber ammunition needs. Larsen & Toubro secured 13,000 crore rupee contract for radar and weapon systems. Bharat Force supplied artillery components and advanced defense materials. In the electronic warfare and air defense, Paras Defense and Space Technologies developed electronic warfare system used in jamming enemy radars. Tata Advanced System collaborated with Airbus Spain to manufacture the C-295 military transport aircraft. Thales India provided sensors fusion technology for integrated air defense systems. Defense technology innovation and startups. The Indian defense technology startups saw a funding boom post Operation Sindoor, with investors recognizing the strategic importance of indigenous innovation. The Drone Federation of India, with 550 and more companies and 5,500 pilots, aims to make India a global drone hub by 2030. Garuda Aerospace's Jatayu and Throttle Aerospace's Raven are being developed for high-altitude logistics and swarm drone operations. The Automotive and Weapons System Testing Center was recently inaugurated in Chennai by Dr. Samir Kamath, Chairman of DRDO. The facility, located at Velanur in Avadi, is designed to rigorously test-track armored fighting vehicles using 26 specialized tracks. These tests ensure vehicles meet stringent reliability standards before user trials. Additionally, a dedicated engine test center was unveiled, supporting power pack development for future armored platforms. Now, some news from the war zone. Ukraine has reported that Russia launched its largest drone attack since the full-scale invasion began. The assault involved 273 explosive drones and decoys, surpassing the previous record of 267 drones. Ukraine Air Defense intercepted 88 drones, while 128 were neutralized through electronic interference. The strike targeted multiple regions, including Kyiv and Donetsk, resulting in the death of a 28-year-old woman and injuries to 3 others, including a 4-year-old child. The attack occurred just days after Russia and Ukraine held direct peace talks, which failed to yield a ceasefire agreement. Israel has launched an advanced offensive in Gaza, intensifying military operations aimed at defeating Hamas and securing the release of hostages. The offensive, named Operation Gideon's Chariot, involves seizing strategic areas of Gaza, with reports indicating heavy airstrikes and ground troop movements. The humanitarian situation in Gaza continues to worsen, with at least 32 casualties reported, including women and children. International leaders, including UN Secretary General, have expressed alarm and called for an immediate ceasefire. Meanwhile, Hamas has proposed a new ceasefire deal, offering to release 9 hostages in exchange for a 60-day truce and humanitarian aid. Palestinian media reported that IDF ground troops had advanced overnight towards central Gaza's Deir al-Balah. According to the reports, heavy artillery fire and airstrikes were carried out in the eastern Deir al-Balah area as the force advanced. Deir al-Balah is one of the few areas of the Strip where Israel has not sent ground troops since the Hamas onslaught of October 7, 2023, which sparked the war in Gaza. Ground forces have previously operated on the outskirts of the town, but not deep inside it. Now, some news from the global industry. Estonian company Meridian Group is set to build a high-capacity unmanned aerial vehicle production plant to bolster the Baltic region's defense capabilities. The facility will be capable of producing up to 2,000 drones per day. The exact location of the plant has not yet been disclosed. The first drones are expected to roll off the production line by the first half of 2026. Initial output will include first-person view and reconnaissance UAVs, as well as strike drones. Vatn Systems has unveiled its new AUV-Torpedo product line, the Skelmir S-12 alongside the opening of a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. The Skelmeer S-12 is a 12.75-inch diameter autonomous underwater vehicle that can function as both a torpedo and a sensor platform, offering unmatched flexibility and cost effectiveness. The new facility is designed to produce up to 2,000 vehicles annually, a significant leap from the industry standard of 200 vehicles per year. Vatn Systems has also partnered with Palantir to integrate AI-driven insights into its manufacturing process, accelerating production. U.S. State Department has approved the sale of AIM-120C8 AMRAAM and AIM-9X Sidewinder Block II missiles to Turkey. The deal, valued at $304 million, includes 53 AIM-120C8 AMRAAMs and 60 AIM-9X Sidewinder Block II missiles, along with spare parts, support equipment, and logistics services. The RTX Corporation will serve as the principal contractor for the deal. The Defense Security Cooperation Agency emphasized that this transaction will enhance Turkey's air defense capabilities and strengthen its role as a NATO ally. The timing of this particular sale raises a question. Is Turkey a conduit? And where could these weapons be used and against whom? Let's think about it. That's all the news for today. We hope you enjoy the news. Please do subscribe to our channel and do give us your feedback. Thank you.